hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to ABS, coming to you from the great state of Texas, precisely here in Houston, Texas. I'd like to welcome all of you tuning in from where we call Ground Zero today, talking about Ambazonia, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. If you are joining in from the entire Africa, that means from the north to the south, from the east to the west, you are also welcome. If you are in Europe and the continent USA, including Canada, you are welcome to the broadcast. And of course, I'm not forgetting all of you in the far and near east, of course, South America too. Good evening and welcome. Tonight, we got so much to bring to you with developments coming from Big Babanki, from Bello, from Mbengwi, to Paris in France, where French President Macron is uniting, ladies and gentlemen, President of La République du Cameroon, Paul Biya, with new Nigerian President Ahmed Tinubu in Paris as we speak. That event took place this week, and I will be bringing to you a little bit details about it. Please go ahead, hit your share button, and do not touch your remote. Let us get the numbers jumping as you join. Thank you, and I will be back in 1 minute. Ladies and gentlemen, once more, good evening. If you are joining from where we call Ground Zero, that is the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, the former British Southern Cameroon, thank you for tuning in. I also like to welcome all of you in the diaspora who are tuning in to be part of this broadcast today. Again, so much that I bring to you today. As usual, I will bring you the headlines and discuss them, and then I will open the phone line to get your own views and opinion. But tonight, we will be starting with Mbengwi, going back to Mbengwi, and then we will go to Kumba, and then from Kumba, we will take you to Big Babanki and Bello, where people are being burnt to death and people still living in the bushes as a result of their homes being burnt down by French Cameroon invading and occupying soldiers in that county. And then we will also be visiting a future which I would love every one of us to observe and to understand from it the reason why for 7 years, 7 good years, we have been at war with La République du Cameroon. I'm talking about the state of the roads, the state of roads in the northern zone, entering Bamenda, inside Bamenda, but in Kumba in particular. Those are the headlines I bring to you today. In the place, I urge you, go ahead, hit your share button, Let us get this platform quickly populated. Please, when I see 200, I will kick off with this broadcast proper. So go ahead and hit your share button. Go ahead and hit your share button. I am very much excited with what I bring to you today. And let me say as we do so that, ladies and gentlemen, the state of our struggle remains very strong. The state of our struggle remains very strong. You cannot imagine the number of messages that I receive on a daily basis. Some are worried, some are excited, some are troubled, some are concerned about the state of things on the ground, especially with the restoration fighters. Many worries, many concerns, but lots of people still upbeat out there. Let me say this to you, every Ambazonian, listen to the sound of my voice. listen to the sound of my voice. We are in a guerrilla warfare. When you hear that wars are fought for 20 years, they are fought for 30 years, they are fought for 10 or for 15 years, these are exactly the kind of wars that drag on and on and on. And why? Because what they call the state party, in this case, La République du Cameroon, they believe they can easily wipe out. They will easily wipe out the resistance, the opposition. But then, only soon they got to realize that it is not easy to wipe out a guerrilla warfare or guerrilla fighters, because the guerrillas see you, that you don't see them. They can hit and run for eternity. And they are not dissipating. They are not finishing. They are there. The recruits are there waiting to be recruited. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know again that the state of the struggle remains very, very strong for as long as we still have Ambazonia crusaders, Ambazonia restoration fighters in every county of Ambazonia resisting the colonizers and the occupiers of our territory, La République du Cameroon. This war, if Cameroon will not settle or at least agree to a form of a solution, maybe through a referendum, we're not going to get tired, because the guerrillas will always be there. If we do not make it today, ladies and gentlemen, if we do not make it today, know that tomorrow we will make it. And what I mean by that is, if we cannot strike them now, today or tomorrow, the next day, the next week, the next month, we will not miss the target. We will strike them. That is exactly how a guerrilla warfare is fought. And so this worriness and weariness out there about the situation of the war, this war is not going to be over overnight. And I can assure you, we are not going to surrender. If that is what La République du Cameroon has been thinking, we are not going to surrender. Can you imagine how many times that their colonial ministers have descended upon our territory and announced victory and told us? Remember Paul Atanganji, right? He actually marched the streets of Biya and Bamenda with palm fronds because the war was over and peace was back with palm fronds. Paul Atanganji, you remember that? He didn't do that once. I think he's done that about 3 times. I think there was one time in Kumba or in Mbengwi, then he did it in Biya, he did it in Bamenda. And they were all, even their colonial prime minister did that too in Victoria. John Gute, they descended upon Victoria and said they are heralding peace. Peace has finally come. I saw them holding palm fronds, but they were soldiers, side by side, carrying guns. How do you carry guns when you are come to announce peace, ladies and gentlemen? Talking about the highest form of hypocrisy there. But listen, we are not laying down arms. We are not going to surrender. Again, when we miss the targets today or tomorrow or the next day, we will not miss it next week or next month or even next year. We will not miss it. All we demand, all we ask of every Ambazonian on ground zero is that please make up your mind. Make up your mind. Understand that this war is not going to be over in this year or not even next year, may not be over until 5 or 10 more years. I'm not scaring you. It is just the fact, because we are about to take out a bone that Cameroon has been chewing for 61 years. And who wants that bone to be snatched away from him? You will not want to. I will not want to. But they have had that bone in their lips for 61 years, and the time has come for us to snatch that bone out of their jaws. And you think they will just, allow us to do that? If we fight this war for 20 years and for 30 years, and some of you are gone, some of us are gone, but we win it, listen, ladies and gentlemen, our children will live to appreciate our commitment, our bravery, and our courage. Do you think if Foncha, Muna, Indele, Jua, and the rest had given us a free and independent Southern Cameroon, we would be at war today? Absolutely not. We would be grumbling against La République du Cameroon and talking about marginalization and discrimination. Of course not. We would be appreciating, thanking them for fighting a good fight and securing a country and a system, a heritage for all of us. They did not succeed. If this generation will succeed, our children will live. They will live to appreciate us. If, ladies and gentlemen, if we persevere, our children will appreciate us. So to you on ground zero, all that you need is perseverance, is courage. Freedom is not cheap. We have heard this again and again. It is not cheap. What that means is that people have to sacrifice. People have to sacrifice. I have seen, let me give you a clear-cut example. I have seen men, patriots, in this struggle. Look at Pa Ndangam. Pa Ndangam, I don't believe he is less than 80 years old. This guy is here in the diaspora, going to every conference. When I met him last in Washington, D.C., of course, nobody knows this. When I met him last in Washington, D.C., about 2 months ago, I was like, look at this old Pa here. He should be sitting down comfortably at his home with his children and grandchildren and enjoying his life. He is 80 years old. Also look at somebody like Christopher Atang of Scapo. He is no less than 80 years old. What are they doing out fighting for Ambazonia? They are not fighting for themselves to go back to that country to live it. They are fighting for the generations to come. And that is what sacrifice, means. And if you sit there saying, after all, my children are well positioned, they will live their life. Think about this old man. Think about these old men. They have children too, they have grandchildren too. They should be living their lives and waiting for their final transition. But no. Ndangam is in the US, running from location to location, from one meeting to the other, fighting for Ambazonia at his old age. He is not fighting to go live back in that country to take anything for that country. He is not fighting to go and be the president of Ambazonia or a minister in Ambazonia, as so many young people that I see today in this struggle they're trying to do. I realize, ladies and gentlemen, being part of this struggle from day number one, many people came into this struggle thinking, oh, we're going to get to Biya in 1 year. We're going to get to Biya in 2 months. And I will become minister of the forest. I will become minister of water. I will become this. And some of them paid their ways and bought positions to, just to be at the center of things. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Now the 7th year, many of them who walk into this struggle thinking they were going to reap a quick harvest. Where are they? They are falling by the wayside. You know, those who mean business at an hour like this one where we are. At this hour, where the resources are scarce, but there are men and women still standing in and saying, you know what? If it means I will be the last man standing. Those are the people came into this struggle to take Ambazonia. Not people who say, you know what? I just have to remain in there. I don't have to stay in there because I am looking for a position ahead. But many of them have fallen by the wayside. The men and women who are still left in this struggle, fighting this battle, ladies and gentlemen, they are the real heroes. They are our real heroes. I have observed something recently in this struggle, that every time you call, and I think this is not peculiar with to the interim government. I think it is the same in every organization or group that is raising money out there for this struggle. But I believe you would have realized that every time that a fundraiser is called, the same people, same old people, they are the ones showing up to give their widow's mite. They always show up to give. I can tell you at the end of this show, I'm gonna still be doing a fundraiser towards Babanki and Bello. You will realize people that call in or send in donations, you readily know them. You know their names. You may probably know their faces. The same old. These are the real heroes, including the fighters who are still in the bushes. These are the real heroes of this struggle. So I am saying this to say, ladies and gentlemen, that this war will not be over in 5 years, maybe not even in 10 years. And again, I am not trying to cast aspersion or discourage anybody out there. I'm just trying so that we condition our mind, knowing that before victory comes, there got to be severe sacrifice. But the good thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that if anybody says, oh, we are not making it, we are failing, the only response we have to do is tell them, are the 2 cubes of sugar still there? After 7 good years, a trained army with the world's money, ladies and gentlemen, hasn't been able to dissolve or dissipate the 2 cubes of sugar, and somebody wants you to believe we are failing or have failed? Of course not. We got boys, I think you call them voices in the bushes. We got them out there, tattered men and women with no education in warfare, with no preparation for warfare, holding a trained army, ladies and gentlemen, for 7 years. 7 good years. Somebody wants you to believe that we have failed. No, we haven't. Anybody telling you we have failed, number one, is an enabler, a traitor, or some of those who are hiding behind and saying, we are not going to give you our money. We give you our money, you embezzle our money. They give every excuse, every reason for which they will not support the war. And they sound so self-righteous, as if everything was done right, their money will be there. No, nothing. Let me tell you a story, ladies and gentlemen. I have held meetings with millionaires, Amazonian millionaires. I mean, some virtual and some physical meeting. I remember meeting with one of them just about a few months ago, and he said to me, Chris, I have friends who are millionaires. If you guys can just present to us the vision, the direction, the roadmap of this struggle, I am going to bring my friends together. I bring 5 of them together. They can each give you $1 million each. That's what he told me. And I know this guy. This guy makes not less than $3 million a year. A year, ladies and gentlemen. I know one of them who makes at least $4 million a year. And you reach out to these guys and they speak grammar. They tell you, they bring some holistic stuff about war without knowledge, without the knowledge of the management of war. And I said, comrade, don't be worried. You bring a very good idea. I decided with him, you take part of this work and do it. I will do the other part. We will come together, put it together, and then you run with it and meet with these your friends, comrades. I have been calling this guy since that meeting about 5 times. No reply, no phone reply. But these are people who have the money. They give excuses. The excuses you cannot understand. That doesn't make sense. People that if they remove only $100,000 from their coffers, it doesn't shake their coffers by any means. Nothing. Zero. It doesn't shake their coffers by any means. We have Amazonian millionaires. Just forget about a millionaire. What if you are making just about $200,000 a year in the USA or in Europe, and you sacrifice $50,000 for this struggle? Your name entered the annals of history in Amazonia as being one of those who supported, who sponsored the war. So there are people out there saying, Chris, oh, more firepower need to show. When people see action, they will give. And you are asking them, how does the action take place without your money? People think that leadership is just talking. Leading is just talking. It is not just talking. It is doing the work. And you do the work with finances, with money. And that is why I sit here. I am not worried, ladies and gentlemen, when somebody says, oh, there is not enough action on the ground. If I see more action on the ground, I give more of my money. Yet if we begin to tell them how we spend the monies that come into us, they will be shocked, because if they were here, they will do exactly the things we are doing. There are things we cannot come and sit on television and begin to explain to television viewers what they are and how they do it. The same fighters on the ground who wants you to believe they are the best. They call you and they talk sweet talk. They have sweet tongues, and they tell you, if you just support us, we're gonna give you, we're gonna deliver this, we're gonna go there and deliver that. You take money put into their hands. Before you know, they tell you that their phones were confiscated and the money removed from their phones. Are you hearing me? You put money into the hands of a fighter, and he tells you of assignment you got to undertake, and then 3 days after, you don't hear from him. You call him, he tells you, you know what, my phone was stolen and all that money was inside and the money was gone. Comrade, these are some of the things we go through here. You put money in the hands of fighters for 20th May. I remember some 780,000 francs put into the hands of a fighter in somewhere in Fako. And the fighter says, while others were taking on their own assignment, the fighter called back and said, the money got missing. The money got missing. And then a few weeks after, we learned the guy is on ground one. Think about this, comrades. So when people are out there saying they want action, they want action, they want action, we depend on the people that we have no mechanism to discipline or to control on ground zero. This is just what is going on. But whatever the case, do we give up? We cannot give up. We just have to keep on resourcing and locating faithful, sincere, committed, brave fighters on the ground. The kind of fighters that when you put money in their hands, they do the job. We have some in Fako, when they take 10 fans from us, they deliver. They deliver on it. Those are the kind of people we want, but how many of them are there? But we just need to keep on fishing until we find the right sources. I came here promising you we're going to invade them in La République du Cameroon. But again, these are the same problems. People go to La République du Cameroon and survey territory, and you put money in their hands, ladies and gentlemen, and before you know, the phones are stolen and the money is gone. I'm just trying to, I cannot go into the specifics here, but I'm trying to reveal to you some of the things that the government here goes through. Some of these campaigns are very successful. Very, very successful. You saw what happened in Biya on Mountain Race, for example. Some are very successful. You saw 20th May shutdown, very successful. But some are not successful because we are dealing with some people who are not faithful. But another problem that we have on ground zero is that of rogue so-called fighters going after the population. Now, I was reading a message from Cho Ayaba talking about so-called ground zero levies. Ground zero levies. Fellow comrades, listen to the sound of my voice. Our people on ground zero have had to go through a lot already. These are people who have lost their source of earnings. I don't know what somebody living in the rural area who is not a civil servant earns to make a life. But Ayamacho is instructing these rogue fighters to go levy the civils, to go levy our own people. Our own people. Listen, if they levy anything francophone in our territory, I give him thumbs up for that. You levy any company, any Nigeria-Cameroon company functioning in Ambazonia, I give you thumbs up for that. But you levy our people who have no sources of income, people who are already in pain, who cannot even send their children to school because they lack school fee, they lack where they to go stay, and you levy them. This is not helping the struggle. This is destroying the struggle. And I wish that somebody who has the ears of Ayaba can take this to him. Comrade, go after anything like the Nigeria-Cameroon in our territory, and we will give you thumbs up. But our own people, leave them alone. Leave them alone. We do not want to lose this war because the people turn against it. And should that happen, we hold you responsible. Let's do the right things. Let's stop trying to be politically correct in this thing. I will not be. All right. I thought I was going to speak just a little bit on that subject, but let me take you, ladies and gentlemen, to Mbengwi. Mbengwi, where we'll learn stuff is happening there. And by the way, I will be right back in a second. Don't touch your remote. Keep on hitting that share button. Let us hit 500 and above today. Let's hit 500 and above today. You know, I have barely started, so go ahead, hit your share button. I'll be right back in 50 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying put out there. Now I take you to Mbengwi. Mbengwi, where we'll learn there is some good news coming out of Mbengwi. While preparing to come to you live today, I got information that all of the shops which were sealed up by the Colonial occupying divisional officer for Mbengwi have been unsealed. All the shops have been unsealed. I understand there was a meeting between the Colonial officials and some clergymen in the city. I think there's something wrong with this audio here. Something is not right with the audio, I guess. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can let me know you can hear me okay. Let me know the audio is okay. I see some issues here. Please let me know. Drop the message on the comment section if you're watching by way of Facebook. Let me know that the audio is okay. Let me know that the audio is okay. All right. I think the problem is solved now. There you go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for that patience. So, coming live to you this evening, I learned that there was a meeting in Mbengwi today between the colonial officials and divisional and some clergymen in the town of Mbengwi. And after that meeting, the colonial officials agree or resolve to go out and unseal all the shops, not some of the shops, all of the shops that they had sealed up in the Mbengwi municipality. We learned there is rejoicing, excitement in Mbengwi as I speak. And I have not gotten details yet. I hope that in the course of this show, somebody can call in from Mbengwi to give us updates as per the atmosphere in Mbengwi. But I learned coming to you live tonight that there was quite excitement amongst the population of Mbengwi. Now, these colonial officials had sealed up shops in, is it called Mbom Market? And Mbom Market, I think that is Mbengwi Central Market. They had sealed up every shop in that market since May the 19th. They had sealed up those shops in anticipation of traders going to participate or take part in the 20th May March Pass, which they did not. They refused to participate in that March Pass. Now, after it, the colonial DO went about shutting down every other shop because they refused to open the shops on 20th, on Ghost Town. Monday, I think that was Monday, the 22nd, which was a ghost town. So because traders and the other traders in Mbengwi will not open their shops on that following Monday, which was ghost town, he went around again with his staff and sealed up all the other shops, including banks in Mbengwi. And after a series of meetings between him and the traders, he still will not agree to open those shops. He kept on telling them. What he did was he went around, opened some of the shops, and then told the traders, you go there and start business first. When you go there, open your shops and start business, I will come back and unseal the rest of the shops. Now, that never happened. The people whose shops he unsealed, they refused to go there. In fact, I learned that in Mbengwi, many people were beginning to go to those shops, unseal it, remove their stuff, take it home, and sell from home. So eventually, because of the tenacity, the bravery, and the resilience of the Mbengwi population, refusing to cooperate with the colonial officials, finally today there was a meeting between the clergy and the colonial officials, and I guess the clergy was able to convince the colonial officials to go unseal the shops. And I am happy to announce to you that as I come to you now, there is live back to Mbengwi, but all the praises go out to the people of Mbengwi for standing their grounds, and all the shoppers in Mbengwi for standing their grounds and refusing to collaborate with an illegal occupying officer in their own territory. Who owns the land? Ladies and gentlemen, who owns the land? Ambazonia owns the land. The people of Mbengwi owns the territory, and they have just demonstrated that it is their land, it is their territory. They will do what they have to do. And they have also demonstrated that this war is their war. It is not Amber Restoration Forces war. It is not the diaspora war, as La République du Cameroon would want everybody to believe. It is the people's war. That is what the people of Mbengwi have demonstrated, remaining tenacious and refusing to shut down ghost towns, refusing collaborating to have every shop sealed until all the shops are open. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the kind of solidarity that we need in all of Ambazonia, everywhere in Ambazonia. They say one for all for one. That is what it should be, and that is what the people of Mbengwi have demonstrated for the past 1 month, since May 19. Since May 19, it's more than 1 month actually. Can you imagine that for more than 1 month, the colonial officials in Mbengwi sealed up every shop in town, including banks. And they were flying to Bamenda or driving to Bamenda to do their own purchases. I guess after 1 month they realized that they cannot be going to Bamenda every day to do shopping, and now they have to open the shops. And now today they unsealed the shops thanks to the visit of the clergy. The shops in Mbengwi are open. But again, on behalf of this interim government, we give our appreciation. We send our thanks and appreciation to all our people in Mbengwi, and I hope that everywhere in Ambazonia, be they civil servants, be they traders, they learn a lesson from you all in Mbengwi. That is a kind of solidarity that should be copied in every part of Ambazonia. When one person is touched, the whole community is touched. Now, the next agenda that the colonial officials in Mbengwi are pushing is the agenda of school resumption in September. I learned they have told parents in September your children are not in schools, they will pay. They are warning the school proprietors, you don't open your schools in September, you will pay. Now listen to me very carefully. I said this the last time I was here. We do not plan to give a message to La République du Cameroon to take to the United Nations General Assembly in September, because all this push for school resumption to end ghost towns is a preparation for the United Nations General Assembly in December, and you know they will have to go there to give report of what has been transpiring in Ambazonia in the war. And so Cameroon is preparing a report to go to the United Nations and say, schools are back, ghost town is gone, everything is back to normal. And you heard the other day, the colonial officials using soldiers in Bello, forcing, first of all, they went out and cleared the market square, and then went and called for traders to come back. When traders do not come back, they began to walk door to door, forcing the traders to come back. The traders will not come back. They themselves went and broke into the shops and stole every valuable in the shop. This is happening all across Ambazonia. They want to kill ghost towns. They want schools resumption in September in all of Ambazonia. This is our position here at the interim government. We are not authorizing any school resumption in Ambazonia where it has not been on for the past 7 years. Any community, any locality in Ambazonia where schools have been shut down, they will remain shut down. I hear some people telling me, oh, you are saying all this and the international community doesn't like to hear this. Who cares about the international community? Where have they been for 7 years? Our people are killed and slaughtered in Bello, in Babanki, in Garibo, in Piyin, in Bali, in Batibo, Guzang, in Kumba. Where is the international community? Where are they? African leaders are quick to rush to Ukraine and Russia to do what? Negotiate peace. Negotiate peace. But there is war back in their backyard in West and Central Africa for 7 years, and no African leader has cared to raise a single voice. And they are quick to rush to the Ukraine, and they want us to believe, you know, the war in Ukraine affects us, affects our oil, it affects our economy, it affects that. How about refugees affecting your economy? Refugees from Cameroon, from Ambazonia. How about them? Are they not affecting your economy? Are they not? So nobody should tell me about the international community. We know who care about us in the international community, and until others show up themselves, we don't care about them. We will do what we have to do to free ourselves. Everything that has to be done. If it means shutting down even the hospitals, I mean it. We'll shut them down. If it means shutting down every school, we shut it down. If the international community cares, let them bring La République du Cameroon to the negotiation table. 60 people are murdered, slaughtered in Big Babanki. Some burned in their own homes. You have not heard a word from the international community. And if that action was carried out by the restoration fighters, it would be news on Al Jazeera, isn't it? Al Jazeera, I don't think they have carried a story on Big Babanki. CNN has not. The BBC has not. They have not. Where are they? So let's put this thing called international community, let's put them behind us. Our freedom depends on all that we are able to do on our own. That is a fact. Our freedom depends, ladies and gentlemen, on all that we are able to do all on our own. All right. So having said that about Mbengwi again, I really want to pass our appreciation to the people in Mbengwi for remaining resilient, and I hope that all of Ambazonia learns from Mbengwi. Now, that is it about Mbengwi. In Kumba, the opposite is taking place in Kumba, where we have learned that the colonial, not the colonial officials, but Kumba Council Mayor, Kumba, I think there are about 3 councils, local government councils in Kumba. They are going after traders, forcing traders to pay back taxes for 7 years. For 7 years, that means since the beginning of the struggle. The councils, again, the councils in Kumba, trying to force traders to pay back. I think the same thing is happening in Biya, in other parts of the southern zone. I don't know so much about the northern zone. If there is any, we will have to be informed. But in Meme in particular, we learned that the councillors are going around sealing shops and asking traders to pay millions in accumulated taxes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me speak first to our people in Kumba. If you want to pay and get your shop open, it is your freedom to do so. It is your freedom to do so. But you really have no obligation to pay any tax to anybody. In times of war, you have no obligation. Not especially when it is a war of independence where we are asking the colonialists, the occupational forces, to leave our territory. In fact, they have no order. They have no authority over you. It is illegal in the first place for them coming to you to demand taxes. Remember the Boston Tea Party, where the people said, we cannot pay taxes without representation. The people, nobody in Kumba represents you in their so-called government in Yaoundé. Not even at that council level. The councillors do not represent you. They represent their stomachs. They represent their bellies. They represent themselves. And so this is what we will say to our people in the Kumba. This is an assignment, ladies and gentlemen. This is an assignment I will leave to our people in Kumba. This is what you have to do. Number one, when the councillors come to your shop, when you see them from a distance, maybe in another shop, in front of another shop, trying to enforce their laws or collect taxes, what you should do is, number one, take a snapshot picture, a good picture with their faces showing on it. Make sure you get those images, those pictures of those tax collectors with their faces very conspicuous on the images, and send those pictures to us. Number two, get their names. Try to get their names and their location, where they live in the city of Kumba. Again, listen to me carefully. When those tax collectors come to you, whoever it is, get a good photo of his face. Get his name and the location where he or she lives in Kumba, where his house is, whether it is his house or he's renting. Know the location of his house. Number two, if you can get their phone numbers, that will be awesome. This is the information we require from every shop owner in Kumba and around the country, around Ambazonia. People who are being made or forced to pay taxes anywhere in Ambazonia, make sure when they come to you, get a picture of them, a good picture with their faces showing on it. Number two, get to know where they live. Get to know where those tax collectors coming to your shop, get to know where they live. Investigate where they live, where they are coming from, where their homes are. Find out. And then number three, try to see you can get their phone numbers, their phone contacts. We will need this information. We will need this information to carry out any assignment that we can against them. We will need this piece of information. So please, this is what I will say to the traders in Kumba. That is what you have to do. Now the traders in Kumba, you have seen what the traders in Mbengwi did. When they shut down one shop, every other shop was shut down. Let me assure you, if every shop and every market is shut down in Kumba, they will not be going to Moyoka or to Biya or Ekona to buy food on a daily or weekly basis. They will try it maybe for a week, but I'm telling you that Kumba is too big. It's too big for anybody to tell you Kumba is not in Mbengwi, where you shut down the shops and everybody just feel okay. There will be a riot in that city because not everybody can go out to Ekona, to Moyoka, to Biya to buy anything. So please, we want the solidarity that prevailed in Mbengwi to prevail in Kumba. Every shop shut down in Kumba, others should, for any one shop shut down in Kumba, let all the other shops be shut down too. Lock it up. Stay home. And remember, ghost towns remain intensified. Ghost towns remain intensified because we know again what the colonial officials, they are trying to do. They force you to pay undue taxes. Then the next thing they do when they achieve that is force you to reopen on Mondays. We must not yield for an inch to colonialists, to foreigners who are trying to impose their rule upon you. We must not yield to that. I hope Kumba gets this. We will come back to that story and in subsequent editions. I will be right back, ladies and gentlemen, in 50 seconds. Stay tuned. I am sorry for that. I lost the audio connection there, but I was talking about Big Babanki, ladies and gentlemen. Over the past 3 days, we have learned that 3 of our people, civilians, were burned down in Big Babanki. The image you find on your screen is one of the image coming from Big Babanki, the burnings in the Big Babanki. It is quite unfortunate what is happening in that place, perpetrated by colonial officials in the village or in the town of Babanki. People continue to run away from the town, while others continue to vacate to the bushes in the place. Thanks to this man whose face you find there, the phone of Big Babanki. He is responsible for all the carnage, the burnings, home burnings that are taking place in Big Babanki. We have learned as of last week that at least 60 people, 60, ladies and gentlemen, have been killed. 60 people have so far been killed in Big Babanki, some burnt alive. The images are so gory for me to show you, but let me bring this to you. These are our people, as you can see in those images, burnt alive again in the Big Babanki by the colonial forces. The colonial forces in that community. Somebody was going to be joining me from Big Babanki. Unfortunately, I can't get him on the phone, but I will be watching. Should he call, I will make sure that I bring him on. But let's move to Bello, where the carnage in Bello continues. Many more people vacating to the bushes because their homes are burnt down. I am being joined by my comrade, my own vice president, who happens to come from Boyo and knows firsthand what has been going on in Boyo for the past 1 week. The past 1 week. I am here talking about the Vice President Alfred Engineer. Comrade, good to see you, sir.
Thank you very much, Comrade Chris, and special greetings to all Ambazonians everywhere they are scattered around the world, and especially to them who are in ground zero, facing the heat of this world day in and day out.
Yes, let's take this chronologically so that people understand what has been going on in Boyo in particular. I mean, Babanki and Boyo are all on the same axis. The war against Boyo began, I think, last Sunday night. Am I correct?
It intensified. Let me say so. It was intensified last Sunday night, but the entry of the Colonial army into Boyo has been over a month ago. You know, they have just been flooding in, and right as of last Sunday, like you rightly said.
Do we know? Do we know the amount of the French Cameroon army present in Boyo as we speak?
At the moment, we don't have a clear figure of how many of them should be in Boyo. But we have, as of this evening, I talked with some few people there in Bello local government area and then Fundong local government area, and they confirm that since last Sunday there have been entry till today. And it will be interesting to know that they have 5 different channels they have been using to come into Boyo. You know, besides coming through officially from Bamenda through Babanki or Babanki, they have come through Ake. They use as one of their way through Ake and Mbesa, and some came through Womb. And beside them that were dropped the last 2 days, day before yesterday and yesterday, by the helicopter in Fundong main town. And they are scattered everywhere in the 3 major local government areas at the moment.
We are aware that most of the population before we get there, how many towns or villages are affected in this raid?
At the moment, Bello is highly affected. The whole of the valley of Bello local government area, highly intensified. You know, highly kind of captured by this army of the Republic. And they are spread all around from within the valley, from Bingo Hills down to Bango to Jinikejem and to Anyajua, and on the way forward towards Mbesa, where they came through and where they were able to shoot down 2 of our boys in the last 3 days. And so between Anyajua and Mbesa towards Oku, there's another village you call Elemiwong and Tumuku, where people have been able to escape to. And these military guys, the army, are following them right into these places. And to my information of this evening, at Fundong, they have spread all over the whole of the local government area of Fundong, right to where you call Aduk, and to
good evening, Comrade Njini. Give me 1 second. I have a comrade who is. I have a comrade who is joining directly from Boyo, from the bush. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Okay.
I'm fine.
All right. Can you did hear me?
I did hear you fine.
All right.
I did hear you.
Okay. Tell me, wait till it go on for Boyo now. Which place, which town you there?
I did Bello.
You there for Bello? Okay.
I did Bello.
Okay. Many people.
I did Bello. I think where it happened for Bello, and I said that army don't come last week. You know, say we for take on the Bellows, we be in a place where we get with main market. And as far everybody will be start so. They be kill some so for that place. All we run that three corners Bello, and that place where we main market day. And now all we don't run go make we market place for bush. So last week they be the Republic armies and become for 20. They come for groups. They come now drive. Come for we local market and for bush. Come who.
So connection issue here. I think he's having network issues here.
Yeah, I think the person calling.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think the caller is having network issues where he is. So, comrade, I will come back to you. You just heard this guy who is reporting all the way from Bello, saying they are still in the bushes. So the army is occupying the market center in Bello, or what? I think that's what he was saying.
Actually, what he was saying is a report that I got through. What the army did in the last few days was that they came around, got hold of the people who were passing. Everybody that was on this on his way to anywhere was being held by, and they forced them to work together with the local civilians to clean up the three corners of Bello. You know, sometimes before the war began 7 years ago, Bello was like a little commercial center that coordinated businessmen from Ake, Mbesa, and even Oku. It will be interesting to know that when you leave Bamenda to go to Oku through Bello, though the road was bad, you will not take up to 3 hours. Whereas when you leave Bamenda, you have to go through Kumba to be able to arrive in Oku, take over 9 hours. And with the bad road now, so Bello became a central commercial area where people were buying and selling.
Hello. Okay. It appears we're having a connection problem. So you oh my, the network is not good. Well, go on.
Yeah. So since last week when these army guys came in the military of La Republic.
Okay.
You might.
Do we have an approximate figure of the number of people in the bushes? Is it 20, 150?
Are you on phone? Or
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I was wondering whether you're on phone or you were with me. Yeah.
I was asking whether you have an idea of the number of people who have escaped to the bushes since then.
Yeah, for over 1 week now, we have had more than 1,000 people from the estimate videos we've seen.
1,000 people?
Both the young and the old are running into the bushes. both the young and the old, because Bello was all abandoned and people had to withdraw or retreat into the outskirts of Anyajua and the different places. Like you would hear the reporter trying to say here, there were little markets now within the different quarters where people have to sell local food stuff within the week. And when these guys came, their mission, as they did the cleaning around the three corners and the market that has all fallen down, they went into the different quarters. And information reaching us has been there are some enablers who are boys from within the land who were recruited from the colonial land of Yaoundé and other places and carried into the land. They are there masked up, and they are the ones moving from one end to another, showing these military guys the direction. To every man or woman who has a small canter or a kiosk that they sell around, they come to them and let them know they have to quit from their homes and go to the market and go to the three corners and then let the market go through. Now, so this invasion has caused everyone, both the old and the young, now to be running into the bushes. So you will hardly really find anybody living there at the moment, because even yesterday something happened which I'll let you to know. The development of the station yesterday and today has been quite tense. There in Anyajua, between Elemiwa and Tumuku, our boys, our restoration fighters, got hold of one enabler who had been like a central ground of coordination between those who are working with the colonial master down in Yaoundé, giving information and directions, coordinating the boys and the military all around the land. So they got hold of this lady, and when they interrogated her, they discovered she was really up to the lives and the houses being burnt around, just like about Babanki. The burning there in Babanki of the homes is exactly what's happening in Bello Valley at the moment. So when this woman proved recalcitrant, she was killed yesterday as a sign to other people to know. And yesterday, there was another recalcitrant case of a driver who took up from Fundong and was driving to Bamenda. He said he cannot stand the challenge anymore. He has to take his way through. And he was held somewhere at Baingo, just after I'm coming to Mbingo. And the vehicle was shot down there and everything was stopped. One of the victims was rushed, who was this Fulani guy.
Who was stopping this? Is it the population, the restoration fighters, or the invading army?
No, the restoration fighters have said there is not going to be anything moving in the land. They have stopped the movement and they are in charge. So they warned and they told the people they want to be in charge. These people have come here for the worst of a carnage, and for them to be secure, they need to comply with the instructions, and anybody that violates the instruction is going to be a victim. So this driver with some few people was finding his way through and was stopped in Bangor. He struggled to want to run, and they shot down the car. And one of these Mborodo guys that was in the car gave up the ghost in Bingo few minutes when he was rushed there. And today, as I'm speaking to you, another guy, a recalcitrant driver, took off from Bamenda with passenger and was driving to Fundong with over 7 people in the car. When they arrived at Bingo Hill, just after Babanki,
please hold it there. Hold it there. Let's get back to this guy and see if the line will be good. Hello.
Mr. President.
Hello. Oh no! I'm sorry. I have a wrong number, a wrong call here. I'm sorry. I'm live. I thought you were my comrade from Boyo. All right. Sorry. Go on. Go on. Yeah, that story is quite interesting. So they stopped this. Truck heading for Bamenda, took him out, and
I mean, they stopped the car, shot in, and this Bororo guy that was within or in the car was seriously wounded. And as they struggled to pick him to Mbingo, he passed away. But it remains a signal warning and a message to everyone in the land. It is going to be for the good of the people, because one of the things which we have known and our boys are up to, the restoration fighters are up to, is they have been able to map out and identify some of these boys who are working with the La Republic military, identifying places and showing places, hunting them like animals, and they are going to be hunted down. We want the message to go to every family where these guys belong to. That's why our boys, the restoration fighters, stood up to the challenge. Now, that was not enough yesterday. Today, the driver who took off from Bamenda with 7 people in his car was driving to Fundong, well loaded. When they arrived at Bingo Hill, just after passing through Babanki, they were stopped by our restoration fighters, and they ordered all the passengers out of the car and took them away. And then they burned the car there with everything inside. It's a message. This war we are going through, all our people everywhere in the Southern Cameroon should understand that people who are enabling La Republic in their wickedness at the expense of our peace and the well-being of the people, like you mentioned from the beginning, the untold suffering our people have been going through. Our fighters have stood up and have decided that anybody who is going to prove to be an enabler and will be handled will not be spared. So at the moment as we are speaking, the passengers were taken out and the car burned down with everything therein. And it's going to happen soon for anyone that is going to violate all through. The boys have said they are going to be in charge. And La Republic, in all their conspiration, whatever plans they have, they were not going to succeed in Boyo. Because at the moment as we are speaking, they are literally everywhere. And Bello is like the stronghold where their trucks are being packed in the council hall around the brigade, where when every reinforcement is given there and then relaunch out to different ends of the
now. If you can explain to us, I thought we were told that the Cameroon army is manning all the roads heading to Babanki and to Boyo. How was it possible that the restoration fighters came out and intercepted this bus and they had no reaction?
Well, this is quite interesting. And it gives us this assurance that our boys, from the information they have given to us, they have mastered the land. They know everywhere where these guys are. 4 days ago, I got a message, and the caller gave me 2 callers reached out to me pleading that we should talk with the boys not to attack very violently over these guys in their different posts where they have set up, because they have discovered that the few people who are within the neighborhood of Bingo are just vulnerable, and anything otherwise, since they are not able to meet up with the restoration fighters, they overtake the local civilians. So this shows to us that because the only cars that are permitted to move through that road are the vehicles, the hospital vehicles from Bingo. Those are the only vehicles that they permit them to move through. They are able to move to Bamenda, do whatever, because they understand they are how to help you, every person. So our boys are fully in charge. The army have gone into the land and they are hunting them in the land, but they are in charge. They move everywhere, they monitor them, and they are in charge. If they shot down in Bango yesterday and they shot down in Bingo today and Ben, it's a message very clear that they are in charge more than La Republic. And this is true. They were never in charge yesterday, they will not be in charge today, they will not be in charge till tomorrow. So it's a message to our people to know that the restoration fighters in Boyo are up to the challenge and they are in charge.
You mentioned the case of this lady who was taking La Republic forces around and they burning these homes. Who laid hold on this lady? Is it the restoration forces or the civilians? How was she caught?
The restoration forces have their informants within the population, within the land, and they monitor whoever is doing what, because this lady was like a channel of communication with the La Republic enablers who call themselves the elite of the land in Yaoundé and around Bamenda. So she was giving information, and these boys that have been recruited, who work now with the military in mask, moving from one corner to the another, have been monitored by this lady, trying to let them know the direction of the Ambazonian restoration fighters in Boyo. So the information reached out to them, they got hold of her. She's been under their keeping for over 4 days, and they were monitoring to really find out whether it was true, and it was proven. And they discovered she was still recalcitrant to her commitment or to all that she has been doing in the land. So they had to do away with her.
Did she say she was paid?
That is our confession. And you will be shocked. I didn't know, we have not gotten the amount that was given to her, but you will be shocked that all these people work at the expense of their own very lives and their families only in the deception of payment, and there is nothing that they really pay them. That is true.
I mean, what would be the motivation for the job she does, taking these colonial soldiers house to house where they are burnt down? What would be the motivation for the fear, or has she been working with the colonialists for a while, or what?
Exactly, she has been working for a while. She was not just working directly with the military, she was working with the enablers who are living in Yaoundé and in other parts like Bamenda. Now, so she was like the source or the channel of information, monitoring day in and day out. You know, these people are heartless, that they deceive a local woman or a local villager who is managing her life day in and day out, and who becomes an instrument to give them information, and they use her at the expense of her own very life and family, and then she suffers and dies because they promise her, we are going to do this when we restore everything to normal. Their message at the moment is that they want to bring Bello back to normal. And the question I was asking somebody, with the thousands of people killed, are they, when they want to bring back, and maybe they're going to do construction, if they were able to do, they have forced some civilians to do the sweeping before they chase them out of the land. Are they going to do the reconstruction? Are they going to bring back lives? So this woman was just a vulnerable case of being foolish to be used, and at the end to be knocked out of life.
Comrade, you brought up an issue that I was going to talk about, the issue of bringing back life and bringing back infrastructure in our towns, in the villages, by the Republic of Cameroon. That is what the elite, they go about telling our population. I will like you to just stay in the background. I will bring you back. I like our people to take a look at something I want to bring to them, what I call the state of the roads. The state of the roads in the northern zone. Now, the image you are about to see was forwarded to me. I think I got it yesterday. These are people in Kumba. In Kumba, trying to get a passable track in their land. Now, this is important, ladies and gentlemen, because Kumba has been like Victoria in the entire duration of this struggle, where they don't respect ghost towns. They don't do anything in favor of the struggle because they believe they are in good hands in La Republic du Cameroon. They have people like the Gerards. Yet, after you take a look at these images, tell me if in the course of a 7 years war, where some people call a war of marginalization and discrimination, and Kumba, which has done everything right in favor of La Republic du Cameroon, is still like this. Tell me what's going to happen if we lay down tools. Take a look.
But this is on the ring road number 11. This place, as you see cars here, cars have been stopped in mud for several days. People cannot access the regional hospital annex in Kumba. If you look behind here, you will see children who are supposed to be going on holidays. They have been stopped in mud. And what angers us is that this road, even though it's the ring road, the population has been trying for several years. As you see, we are working with the drivers' union and the youth. We have been trying for several years to keep the road passable. And in December 2022, the Minister of Public Works gave maintenance work so that the road should be passable to a contractor called Sawi. And since then, no job has been done. The population remains here. People move, they want to go and bury their loved ones, they cannot pass. You see children staying in mud for several days. People bring even corpses, they cannot go and bury. Women will have to go to the hospital, they get delivered in mud around all of this. And the contractor is being protected, but we cannot understand that somebody takes a contract. He does not do the contract. They add him other contracts. Is it a punishment to the people, the peace-loving people of Nkambe, or what is it? We cannot understand the state of this.
Go,
And since last year, the Nkambe Council, where they collaborate together with the Nkambe Drivers Union, we work very hard. Sometimes then with the community work, with the carry gravel right from Nkambe, they can feed the places them. But when we ask some of our elders, we say the route they on contract. Since last year, we suffered the whole last year. We fix route by ourselves. Then this year again, we will check say better for day. This year, now the same thing don't start. Now so the route day so with the crisis, we know say petrol and gas will become rich for you easily. We will the benefit petrol from Nigeria. Now so people from Nigeria they don't get their own petrol again. Petrol the high, route the spoil. For come out for here last dry season, we will pay 10,000. But now so now 20-something thousand where drivers them they ask them for pay. Me like the president, passengers they got who me say transport don't high. Driver them got to complain say that mutu them this spoil. Petrol, it beat there. I could do.
Stand for you because of road. I come on a life for Sawe so. You are power around there. One go there and put a pencil as we come on. Since now almost 4 days this I don't make them for road.
Only for come up for do for reach Kambe. I don't spend more than even 6 days for route. Today na normal 5 days. I be first sleep for that side 1 day. I don't spend 5 days for here. That means say today na normal 6 days. So na so it is. You don't my motor don't scatter for road. You know, just beg the pray go say me they do way for this situation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the images you saw there, again, those were images coming from Nkambe. Now, the road, the piece of road you found there is supposed to be the Bamenda Ring Road, and that is the stretch that belongs to Nkambe, where you have, Gerard, somebody, Gerard, who's supposed to be a kingpin of the CPDM, one day. Now, this is a guy that will go home all the time and tell those drivers, the road is under contract. The road is under contract. Nothing is under contract. We have heard, since growing up as kids, we have heard of the Bamenda Ring Road construction for eternity. I was in secondary school in Form 2 when I started hearing, I started hearing about the Bamenda Ring Road when Fonka Shang became the Speaker of the House in Yaoundé. Fonka Shang, I think, was there for about 8 years or so, if I'm correct, and died. And then after Fonka Shang, you had the guy in Santa, Achidi Achu. Achidi Achu took over, and he was there, I think, for about 10 years or 12 years and left. And then you've also had Philemon Yang, ladies and gentlemen, and that is his own stretch of the road too. Philemon Yang, he was there for about 10 or 12 years, and he also left. And the Bamenda Ring Road remains a story. Remains a story. Now we are seeing the images. But before I get back to that, let me take you to Bamenda. I'd like you to take a look at the roads inside this city of Bamenda. Take a look. And do not forget that Bamenda is the biggest city in Ambazonia. The biggest city in Ambazonia. Take a look at the roads in Bamenda, please. That is the biggest city in Ambazonia. Take a look at the roads in Bamenda. Look at the city. Look at where the cars are driving. Look at where the cars are driving. Again, you are looking at roads inside the city of Bamenda, how they look like. Look at them closely. I think where you are looking at there, I think that is up somewhere up station. That should be up somewhere up station. The roads are a little better up station. But you go where the people live, downtown Bamenda, look at that. You will be sorry for yourself. Look at the roads in the city of Bamenda, ladies and gentlemen. Those roads were better 20 years ago. They were better 20 years ago. Look at that. Again, you are looking at roads inside the city of Bamenda. But the reason I am bringing this to you, ladies and gentlemen, is so that we once more can understand why we are fighting. We once more can understand the reasons why we are fighting. We are fighting because we have not only been colonized, we were colonized, marginalized, discriminated against, and actually abandoned. That is why our roads, they look like that. And hey, dare you tell me that you go to Francophone areas, they have roads too like that. It's not our cup of tea. We fight for that which belongs to us because the resources are coming from our territory. So don't come here and tell me, but Chris, you know, you go to Bafosam, the roads are the same. You go to the south, the roads are the same. You go to Douala, the roads are the same. Who cares about a foreign country? We care about our own land. If we had our own government, our own administrators, our own parastatals producing and refining our own oil and exporting our own produce, our roads will never for once look the way they look now. Now, when you hear politicians the like of Ngala Gerard sitting in Yaoundé and blindfolding the people of Nkambe and telling them the roads have been given out to contractors. The roads have been given out to contractors. You heard that driver. The driver said they were told that in 2002 a contractor took the road. We are here almost mid-2023 and not a single caterpillar is on the way. You go to Bamenda, you cannot enter Mbunda from La Republic to Cameroon. The roads don't exist. And guess what? The bad roads start only at the boundary, almost at the boundary. In other words, you enter Mbunda, the roads are good. They are better. You enter Bamenda, no. The roads are unpassable. I think I last visited in 2016, just before this war started. I visited Bamenda, and every time I drove, because I was driving myself, I drove to Bamenda, and every hour I spent in Bamenda, I was lamenting and thinking aloud. How am I going to get through that road back to Biya or back to Kumba or back to anywhere else? That stretch of the road constituted a burden. You used 3 hours from the outskirts of Mbunda, I think they call it from Babajo, to Bamenda, a distance that 20 years ago took about 30-45 minutes. 30-45 minutes. Now it takes more than 3 hours, and now the rainy season is here. You can imagine that it may take you 5 hours just to leave Bamenda town or Bamenda city and get to Babajo. Now, only a few months ago, you all recall, that road cut into two, and La Republic of Cameroon took construction equipment to that piece of the road, and they told everybody they are tarring the whole stretch from Bamenda to Babajo. I was shocked only a few days ago to see the cars pile up on that stretch, not on tar, but on earth road. Not on tar, still on earth road. But let me ask you, Amazonians, again, if at this moment of, again, in times of, in situations like this one, where we are at war, because some people call it the war of marginalization and discrimination, La Republic would have at least saved face by putting some light level of tar. Just think about that, some light, very light level of tar, just to save face, to fool the people on that stretch of the road. No, they don't do it. And you think that if we allow La Republic to Cameroon, if we lay down our arms, La Republic to Cameroon will just come in and fix everything and fix the roads. And when they cannot do it now, and when they have not done it for 61 years, fellow Amazonians, this war, it is our own to win. We must win this war. If we do not win this war, you will die, and your children will die without a road to their village or their town. In Kumba people, those same people who have been supporting La Republique du Cameroon at every event, on every occasion, they will die on those roads, and even their corpses, as that driver was saying, will not get to them. Yeah, their corpses will not get to them. So please, this is the reason why we are at war. We are at war because for 61 years we produced 82% of the gross domestic product in that country. But what do we have to show for it? We are producing 82%, according to data, 82% of the gross domestic product in all of that country, that is including Amazonia. And so for somebody to say, Chris, you know, the same problem in Amazonia is the same thing in La République du Cameroon, I say, hell no, because La République du Cameroon is not producing 82% of their gross domestic product. We are producing it. We earn it. We deserve it. It is our own. It is our own. If we want to see things happen, we have to stay the course. We have to stay the course and see this war through and take back that which belongs to us. You look at the city of Bamenda, for example. Bamenda was a better city in the 80s and early 90s. The streets were better. The streets were clean. You cannot even walk through the streets of Bamenda without seeing a heap of garbage. Potholes everywhere. And yet these people want to collect taxes. For what? What do they have to show for the taxes? Just imagine, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, if we had conscientious administrators, conscientious mayors, so-called government delegates, and they resolve in their hearts and say, in Bamenda, we are going to prioritize every piece of road. And if only for a year, they prioritize a stretch of the road and say, okay, from Ventinary Junction. From Ventinary Junction, we will take it from there through Sonak Street all the way, maybe to Azere, a former end of town. And you take that project and focus on that project just for a year. I'm telling you, you would have done, but in 5 years, all the major streets inside Bamenda would have been tarred. Just get a good administrator. They are collecting billions of CFA every year in taxes, and they have nothing to show for it. They can't even clear the garbage. If we had conscientious administrators who care about infrastructure, they will prioritize and say, every year we're going to take a stretch of the road in the city of Bamenda entire. They take Ventinary Junction through Sonak Street all the way up to old end of town. Maybe the next year they take from Big Mancon through Ayaba back all the way Meta Quarters all the way to Hospital Runabout. Maybe another year they take from Hospital Runabout all the way to Intarakun. I am telling you, you have good administrators doing this. Is no money. I believe a maximum of 1 billion will do this work on a yearly basis. How much do they collect in taxes a year? Billions. They have never done this. It's not because the money is not there. It's not because they are not collecting taxes. They collect the taxes and they eat it. But again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason why we are fighting. If we do not fight to take this and put it in the hands of right people, to bring the development that we need, the education that we need, the legal system that we need, our children will be forever doomed. Let us persevere. Let us stand and fight, not to the last man standing, till we win the war. That's all we need. Comrade VP, let me bring you back here. What do you think about this before we move back to the next issue? What do you think about, you saw those roads in Nkambe, the so-called ring road. In Nkambe or Banso or Bui, they've had Fonka Shaq Lawrence. They had Philemon Yang. Of course, they also had Achiriachu. No, but those roads are still there. What do you say?
It's a very sad, pitiful thing, Comrade Chris. Very, very sad. You know, when I first got that video before getting the footage of it now as a shot here, and one of the things that struck my mind with anger was the fact that the guy who first spoke was talking about calling the name of somebody in the person of the contractor who had taken money and is walking here and there guided, and the rude people are suffering here and there. And I'm asking myself, I said, so you know who this man is, who is supposed to have been the contractor and taken money, and you sit there and you are still fooling around, fooling yourself and deceiving yourself before these people. Because if our people come to the understanding that it is time to move ahead and not look back for any reason, all that we have suffered with these people, all that we have suffered with this wicked dictator and all these warlords, is something to teach every Amazonian everywhere to face the reality of life, to be true to himself and stand up to say enough is enough. You know, to a certain point, I thought that we were contributing 70% of the GPA was coming from Amazonia, but I'm getting the clarity from you that is 82. And all that we produce, we suffer in mockery, in all that a man should not be able to think out. So this is a call to every Amazonia everywhere who can see things. I don't know whether some of them still have conscience that you say. Where are their consciences? Why will you sit and be lukewarm about this issue? I like the way the restoration fighters in Boyo have taken up things. And moment they have made an investigation and they have not gone through, they're still going through the process to map out whoever is an Amazonian out of Amazonia now in a different part of the world and who has not been contributing to sustain the freedom struggle, you know. And they are listing up everyone from family to family, from local government area to another. And if Amazonians should come to that understanding, even those who are there in the neighborhood of La République du Cameroon, we will hold them responsible, because they are going to pay dearly if they continue to deceive themselves and deceive our people who are distracted to our freedom that is being delayed. It's a pitiful, it's a painful thing to know. And you have pictures of the past where when you look back in Amazonia, look back in Bamenda. I remember those days when the SDF came up in the 80s and 90s, where Bamenda was qualified in all of the Southern Cameroons, and La République was able to speak and recommend that in the Southern Cameroon, Bamenda remained the Christian.
Up here at the open board,
and today we
this
are
on the ring road.
It's not supposed to be. We must come to that maturity and take a stand for ourselves and for our people, and not fool anyone else, so that those who have decided to be heartless will have to pay the price and face the consequences, they and their families. So if you are listening to us and you have any of your persons who is trying to coordinate this atmosphere or be an enabler, this is pitiful. Tell them enough is enough, and we are not going to fold our arms and be lukewarm about the situation.
Comrade, if you look at that image there, the guy in red in the public works attire, I understand that is the mayor of Nkambe. That is the mayor of Nkambe. Where is the council's budget? And what is he telling? I'm shocked that he is standing there grumbling about that road. And tomorrow he will be one of those who goes out and parade for the CPDM and for that same regime, while his people are fighting and dying for the same thing he is grumbling about.
Very, very sad. Very, very pitiful. Because he is the #1 praise singer to the dictator and to the neighbors of La République du Cameroon against the well-being of Amazonia. And here he stands. And is the man I say is calling the name of somebody, say, well, look at him. Is this not shameful?
Look at the road. Look at it. That's a ring road. Yeah. That's a ring road. What a shame.
Oh God. What a big shame. So sad.
Now, tell me, is this the way they wrote Big Babanki Boyo? Is this the way the road looks? Is it any different?
No.
It's supposed to be part of the ring road, isn't it?
Exactly. You know, the road situation in Boyo is not very different from this one. The truth is, it's a little better because it was worked in the, that was 19, some few years. There was a project sponsored by the Germans, which was still in the hands of some enablers, under the sponsorship of or supervision of La République du Cameroon, and it has never been followed up. All the patches along the road, the breakdowns along the road, nothing has been done. So when you see the difference, the only difference between the route from Bamenda to Boyo County is the fact that it has patches, some little patches of the quota in some places. And
but you see, comrades, one thing I say is that if we had administrators that are innovative and resourceful, those patches should not even be on the road. You look at the city of Bamenda, if those patches or potholes were developing and a conscientious administrator comes to the field and say, okay, we don't want to have this pothole expanding to the whole area, let's cut it and immediately tar it again, the roads in Bamenda will never look the way they are now. Not those stretch of roads we are talking about in Kumba, or I mean, in the Babanki and Boyo.
Yeah, exactly. You see, the main cause of this poor administrator is the corruption of La République in the land of the Southern Cameroons. You know, when you follow through the government of La République and all their ministers, their governors, and all the administrators, and see the way they live and see the way they do, you understand that the ones that have sent into Amazonia to come and impose and colonize us have lived in that wickedness of corruption to the fact that nobody has a conscience. Everybody is fighting for himself. The duo is there with his deputies and all who are working around. This money collected, but everybody is fighting for himself. And at the different levels of the governor sits there as a representative of the head of state, you know, and all he does is looking for his own quota. When he comes in, the senior duo looks for his own portion. And everybody's fighting like that at different levels. Nobody cares for anybody or about anything but his own stomach and his own well-being at the expense of the people. So nobody is a patriot that has to defend the cause of the people or of the land. It's the wickedness of La République that we don't want in Amazonia. So that's why we are hoping and believing that as we get through for our freedom, this kind of life or this kind of administration will never be anywhere in Amazonia, the Southern Cameroons.
All right, comrade, hold out there for a few more minutes. I will get to the last item and get your opinion on it before I let you go. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a meeting in the French capital that ended recently. In the meeting had to do with world powers coming together to talk about a new financial system and climate change. And of course, that meeting again took place in France. But guess what other thing was happening in France? Take a look. So right there you find the new president of Nigeria, Ahmed Tinubu, and Paul Biya shaking hands in France during the summit, which I learned is called the Paris Summit. It was a summit held in Paris to discuss reforming the world's financial system. Reforming the world's financial system. The summit for a new global financial pact that took place in France. I think that summit ended yesterday. But looking at the image there, you would think that Paul Biya and Ahmed Tinubu the new president of Nigeria were meeting at the sidelines? Of course, absolutely not. Macron, ladies and gentlemen, invited Tinubu and Paul Biya to have a tete-a-tete, to have them meet face to face in Paris, so that nobody will suspect. Paul Biya at that phrase stage does not leave Yaoundé and go to Paris to attend a summit. You saw what happened in Washington, D.C. the last time he attempted a summit. It was a shame. So Paul Biya was not leaving Yaoundé for Paris to go and attend a summit and address a summit like I saw other African head of state do. No, he went there on the arrangement, ladies and gentlemen, the arrangement to meet with Ahmed Tinubu on the arrangement of Macron. So we do not know what they discussed, but they had a meeting, a secret meeting, in which they initiated discussions on how the new head of state, Nigerian head of state, can handle the conflict going on in Cameroon. Now, you will recall that under Muhammadu Buhari, Cameroon actually essentially got Nigeria in her pocket. They invited Buhari to Yaoundé and gave him a state dinner, put money into his pocket, and everything that our people try to do, even our refugees in Nigeria, they are picked up, arrested, and some returned to Cameroon. Now, Ahmed Tinubu is a little bit different. And what happened in Paris is France trying to woo him like, a man woos a woman to his side, so Ahmed Tinubu can continue with the policy. Now, don't forget, Ahmed Tinubu is the same party with Buhari. It's not a different party, the same APC of Buhari. But Ahmed Tinubu is I have known him for a long time. I live in Lagos. I worked in Lagos in the media when he was governor of Lagos, and I know him. He's a pragmatic person. Where many years have gone by, I don't know whether he is still that, but he is different from Buhari. And I think if things go the way I am being told, he has a different policy for Ambazonia and Cameroon. But look at the sharpness of French president getting Tinubu to Nigeria. I saw him in that meeting sitting somewhere right at the back. He is not making any speech at the conference. He is seated right at the back of the conference, making just observing. But he is there, invited there. The reason he went there to France for the summit wasn't to address the summit. Essentially, he went there so he can have a meeting at the sidelines with Paul Biya, La République du Cameroon's president. So whatever they discuss, we don't know. But what I can say to you Ambazonians out there is this: nobody should be worried about the new leadership, the new government in Nigeria. We have a handle. We have a handle over what is happening, and you can trust that one of these days we will report to you about something that is in the pipeline. This is where I will end it. This is what I will say. Nobody should be worried. We are making our inroads, and we will report to you eventually. It's a new government. It's a new day in Nigeria-Cameroon relations. That is what we see. That is what we see. Tinubu is a new person. He's not a Buhari. He's a rich guy. He's a rich guy. He's not a beggar. Doesn't carry a pan in his hand to go beg money like Buhari was doing with Paul Biya. He's a very rich guy. I mean, Tinubu essentially owns Lagos. I don't know whether you know that. That guy essentially owns all of Lagos. Almost every company, banks, whatever, oil companies, that guy owns it. He is richer than MKO Abiola, if you know whom I'm talking about. That is who Tinubu is. And so you will not be carrying a plate in the hands and going to Yaoundé for a state dinner and begging for money like Buhari did. So that will be my last item, I think my last story for tonight. And let me bring back the VP to chip in something on this before I open the phone lines. And before I bring in the VP, ladies and gentlemen, we are not done with collecting these donations for Boyo and Babanki. Thousands of our people cannot be living in the bushes and will just sit here and sigh and lament. Please, we've got to do something. I will be putting up the payments information on your screen eventually. I expect you to chip in something. Your $50, your $100. Let us take care of our brothers, and I appreciate the tenacity of our restoration fighters in Boyo for the good job they are doing. But VP, I come back to you about what is going on in France. Am I wrong? Macron invited Tinubu to have him have a side meeting with Paul Biya. Paul Biya will not go to France at this point in time, considering his health, considering what happened in Washington, D.C. What is your thought on this?
You are perfectly right in your thought. Every person who reasons and coordinates the thoughts together will believe that there was no opportunity where Macron could use his gymnastic of manipulation to want to invite Tinubu to France, because there's nothing Tinubu will want to wait on France to get. He has made it through his life in every way, whether by crook or by right. You know, he has made it through. I know a little about of his world, and so he has the guts in his age to be able to stand through and do what he is able to do to help his own country. Now, at his age, for him to be in that forum, you know, and then be relegated to the background and sit there from the beginning to the end, just like we see Biya. Biya is unproductive. I mean, he cannot coordinate his mind. We have seen him sometime in the 2018 when he was in France and revealed their wicked plan against the Southern Cameroons. We saw what he suffered in the Economic Forum last year in the US. And there is no possibility that Macron or the organizers of this conference would have been able to give him the microphone for anything, even for 30 seconds, because he will, I don't know what would be the level of the shame, because what happened in the US was an international shame. And for every reason, he would have been put behind. So he just sees this opportunity, like you rightly say, to bring these two together to see whether he can corner and manipulate Tinubu so that they can use him as an instrument against Amazonia. But God forbid, like you say, we are standing through and our eyes are open. We believe there's going to be a good working relationship between Amazonia and Nigeria in this government or in this new leadership. And we believe and we really pray that there will be a frustration to every wickedness of France. You may be shocked, Comrade Chris, that the coordination of the time and season may not really be because it was a ripeness of time for France to bring African leaders together, but just for the sake of or in effort against Amazonia, he could organize this conference and bring these two people together, and every other person would think otherwise, but there is an underground wicked agenda against the people which will not succeed against Amazonia. That's my take.
Well, thank you for the input there, and I like to inform Amazonians that Biya was actually sleeping in this other summit in France. He just didn't know where he was, just as it was in Washington D.C. Take a look of Paul Biya in that summit in France. That is him. The man is sleeping. the man is dozing off.
An ancestor.
That is Paul Biya. That is Paul Biya, ladies and gentlemen, dozing off, sleeping at that summit there. That man is not himself. They are just punishing him, getting him to this summit, and getting him to do nothing. What is your thought there, sir?
Yeah, you see, he looks there really like somebody already in the grave, you know, a living ancestor. And the man sitting by him, all of them seems to be sleeping very intensively. My fear was that maybe by the time he stands out of there, he has already made his pool, and he has to be rushed for cleaning. It's so sad that African leaders keep seeing this abuse being put upon them, because this kind of exposure is abuse and insult upon them, and none of them seem to come to the knowledge of understanding and escape. How long will this thing can continue? Because this is a mockery to every African leader, and it's a shame to all the Republicans who are watching, who knows about what's happening. Can you imagine? It's not just that if he's slumbered, he is intensely carried, and thank God for this kind of pictures, that will awaken the real La Republicans who want to stand up for their right, while Ambazonians is going free and finding their way through. They can stand up, and fight to overcome this evil, which should not continue to be an international shame to their image and to their own nation. We will not be proud just to want to get our liberty and be free, and then see a neighboring country suffer in frustration. If people can come up or stand up to the challenge of the time and pick up with the realities of things like this, maybe their own deliverance will come while we are going free. Thank you.
Well, that is what it is. That is Mr. Biya being unable again to sit at any summit and look like a person who is alive, like any other leader. That is the president of La République du Cameroon. I hope that his men are watching this, and I hope they take it to him and let him know people are watching him. So again, that was Paul Biya in France. They at the summit for a new financial system. The summit for a new financial system. I hope that again, if people see this and know that they are being led by a dead human being. That is it. Comrade, the last word, please, if any.
Yeah, my special kudos to all Amazonian restoration fighters who are standing up to the challenge in moments like this at the different levels of our counties and local government areas. We are so proud that they are able to stand up for the challenge in the guerrilla efforts of the war. We are praying for them, and we are praying with them, and we are doing all it will take, like you mentioned in the beginning, to give them the push that they need. And to our restoration fighters in Boyo, we are standing together with you. I just want to announce here, Boyo's draft is coming up in the next 2 weeks. Right. Everything being equal, the flyer should be out.
Actually, the Boyo draft is coming up June
9.
No, July 9. Am I correct?
Yeah, July 9.
July 9, correct.
Exactly. So we are trying to call every one of the sons and daughters of Boyo, everywhere they are. Wake up, sit up. We have done it in the past. We can do it better now, and to secure the future. So wherever you are, get your mind ready. We are going to draft to make sure we bring an end to the efforts of La République. They will suffer frustration in their effort at Boyo, now. And it will be, let's call it the last fight. So we are calling on you, as you see the flyer, make sure you connect. If you don't know how to go about, get through to ABS, get through to us through ABS, and we will be in touch with you, and we move together.
All right, Comrade Vice President here at the interim government. It was a pleasure to have you, sir. You have a great night.
Thank you. Same with you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You have the phone number right there on the screen. I will plead with you. We have seen what is happening in Boyo and Big Babanki with our brothers. The restoration forces are doing their best. They are doing their best. We have heard it from the VP, and The only thing we can do in the diaspora is to make sure that they do not run out of material. We cannot allow them to run out of material, because we know that the Republic of Cameroon's fighters or soldiers, we stay in there hoping that our fighters run out of material. We cannot allow that to happen. I can assure you, we here at the interim government, we are doing everything to make sure that that doesn't happen. But you know, we trust, we depend on what you are able to send in to us to do so. I started this fund drive last Wednesday. We've raised already a little chunk of money, but it is not enough considering the level of activities going on there in Boyo, the level of the engagement of the forces of the Republic of Cameroon in Boyo and Babanki. We want to make sure that we fortify our guys. They must not run out of material before we think of putting something in their hands. While they are still fighting and making use of what they have, let us replenish it before they run out of it, because they run out of it, they will be slaughtered like chickens. They will be slaughtered like chickens. This is what I will do. You have the Cash App number right there on your screen. You also have the Zelle number. When you make a payment, $25, $50, $100, send me a message, text me using a different number, the number I would normally use when I come live. I will put it on the screen eventually. When you make a donation, text me, let me acknowledge you and acknowledge your donation. Now, the Cash App and the Zelle numbers you have on the screen, those are the National Treasury Cash App and Zelle number. That money is not going to any one individual. It goes into the National Treasury, and at the end of the day, the National Treasury puts it together and we use it to help our people in Big Babanki and in Bello. So please, I strongly appeal to you, let's not just lament. Let's just not sit here and feel sad about what is going on in these two places, in other areas. Let us see what we can do to alleviate the situation and what you can do. The only thing that you and I can do is to send money to replenish them. Please, please, listen to my appeal. Help our own. Let's help our own. Let's stand with them at this moment of need. We have done this every time any of our LGA or county was under attack. We've done this for Libialum. We've done this for Bui. We've done this for other ARS in different parts of Ambazonia. It is Boyo's turn. Boyo has been pretty quiet, you know that, in this struggle. But now they have been invaded, and we cannot fold our hands and sit here. Please, get your phone, get your phone, get your phone. You either use the Cash App or you use Zelle. Unfortunately, for those of you in Europe, I don't have a payment method with me to put on the screen. But for those of you in the USA, please, please, the Cash App and the Zelle are there on your screen. When you make a payment, text me the information. Let me announce it to acknowledge you. At this moment, I will open the phone lines and have you call and give us your own take on the broadcast of today. The phone line is still the same phone line that you know. You can go ahead and call that line, but before you call, make sure that your telephone set is the volume of your set is shut down. Before you call, make sure that the volume of your telephone set is shut down. And please do not forget to use the Cash App and the Zelle to make your payment and to send me the receipt. To send me the receipt or text me the information so that I can acknowledge your payment. The phone line is open. I'd like to hear from you, especially if you are on ground zero. Go ahead and call. go ahead and call. Let me hear what is on your mind. Let me hear what is on your mind. All right. Again, the phone line is open right now. And for those of you in the diaspora in the USA, please go ahead. Use the Cash App information that I put on screen to make your payment to support our brothers and our sisters who are sleeping in the bushes in Boyo and in Big Babanki. The phone line for the phone call is right there on your screen. I'd like to hear from you. And while you call, again, please, diaspora, show your strength. Show your strength. Support our brothers and sisters on the ground. And if you are watching here from we put that I think we'll put that Cash App information right here on your timeline of Facebook, so that those of you on Facebook who cannot read on the screen can get that information on the timeline in order to make a payment. All right, the payment information is still there on the screen. Go ahead and make your payment. Go ahead and make your payment, please. I see close to 400 people are still here. At a point in time, I saw over 500, but the 300 people here, just imagine if out of the 300, I mean almost 400, everybody was giving $25. $25. It will make a lot of sense. It will go a long way. It will go a long way, a very long way. So please go ahead and make a payment. Make a payment and send me your information, and I will make sure that I acknowledge you. I will make sure that I acknowledge you. All right. In the meantime, I'd like to hear from you about the broadcast today. The phone line is open. Go ahead and call. Let me hear from you, please. I guess nobody is watching from Ground Zero today. No phone call yet. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am waiting for your donations for our fighters on the ground. I am waiting for your payment. I'm waiting to acknowledge your payment in support of our forces on the ground, please. Okay. All right. I will also go ahead and drop the payment information for Europe on the timeline. I cannot have it on television because it's quite lengthy, but it is dropped on the timeline, Facebook timeline. It is dropped there. You can see it there. Okay, maybe this is the first caller from ground zero. Hello. 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 Okay, we lost that caller. The phone line is open. Go ahead and call and contribute. Doesn't matter where you are. For as long as you have an idea, go ahead and call. In the meantime, again, we have the payment information, the support information for Boyo. Boyo, right there on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I urge you, let us support these people. We cannot all be talking about the need for victory, the need for victory. And then when it comes to supporting these people, we are not able to put out something. Let us do it now. That is the only way we can demonstrate that indeed we care. We care about this, our brothers and sisters on the ground. In the meantime, ground zero, go ahead and call, please. Okay, somebody just sent me some information, and he is essentially trying to let me know what is going on in the cities. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very important. Let's see, we can bring you, I can bring you this video. Let me see, I can bring you this video. It just came in. It just came in, and somebody is warning with this video of what is happening in many towns and cities in La République du Cameroon. They are manning the cities with surveillance cameras. They are manning the cities in La République du Cameroon with surveillance cameras, and I'm going to show you exactly what is going on there. Hello. Okay, I lost that caller. So this is what is happening in La République du Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what is happening in La République du Cameroon. They are manning the cities with surveillance cameras, and I am being told that this is being done to protect against any attack by Ambazonia Restoration Forces in their territories. Again, I have a video here that I'm bringing to you. Somebody just dropped in that video for this broadcast. And this is the video. Take a look, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at that video. Take a look at that video. That is the surveillance. That is the surveillance. You can see a surveillance center in La République du Cameroon. The person who forwarded it to me, you can see that the whole wall is full of surveillance cameras. Look at the cities. I don't know what city is that. I think that must be Douala or Yaoundé. Being the whole city is kind of put under monitor. The streets, the buildings, put under surveillance, under a camera monitor in La République du Cameroon. They are saying, I am getting information that this is done to prevent attacks by Amba fighters invading La République du Cameroon. The message says, be aware of this development in most of the towns in La République. Not because of thieves. The surveillance cameras have been mounted not because of thieves, but for fear of the restoration fighters' attacks in La République du Cameroon. That is what is happening in Cameroon at the moment. If the fear of amber, the beginning of wisdom. I only hope La République is efficient enough to man a surveillance center like this one. I don't see the efficiency. I don't see that happening. Those people will go and sit there and sleep on those chairs and wake up and go back home, and if the city is burning, they wouldn't even know how it happened. So nobody should be worried about that. So that's a piece of news that just came in here, ladies and gentlemen. Please, I'm still really expecting you to go ahead, make your contribution, support our fighters, support our brothers in Bello and in Big Babanki. Let us have sympathies. Let's show solidarity with those fighters. I only have about 5 minutes. I only have about 5 minutes to go, and I want to see somebody send in, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see somebody send in a donation in support of what is going on in Bello. All right. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah,
where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Nigeria.
From Nigeria. Okay. And what is on your mind, sir?
Okay, I just want to know what is actually going on.
You want to do what?
I just want to know what actually is working, what's going in Bayo and Bamako. Okay, I just want to
Please turn down the volume of your TV and just focus on the phone so I can understand you. I hear an echo in the background.
Okay, so I can hear you now.
All right. You said you just
I just turned it down.
Okay, you said you want to know what is going on there.
Yes, in Bayo and Bamako.
I don't know the names. Boyo. You mean to say Boyo and Babanki?
Yes, Boyo. Yes.
All right. In Boyo, French Cameroon soldiers, over 2,000 of them invaded the county, and thousands of people have fled to the bushes, and homes are being burned, and restoration fighters are giving those soldiers a match for their money. In Babanki, people are being burned to death, and so far we have learned.
So sorry for that. That's so sad.
Yes, so that is what is going on there, and we are asking people to support these people who are running to the bushes so they can maybe have.
So why are Cameroonian soldiers attacking their citizens? Why?
No, they are not Cameroonians. They are La République. They are French. They are French Cameroonians. They are not Southern Cameroonians. Okay. They are not Ambazonians. These are foreign soldiers coming in from La République du Cameroon.
Okay. That's in Douala, right?
Into what?
Not Douala. So.
No, it's not in Douala. It's in Boyo. It's in Bamenda. I'm sure you know Bamenda.
Okay, yes. I had that.
Correct.
Okay, may God save all our people over there. That's so sad. It's really sad.
Thank you. Where are you watching from in Nigeria?
Kaduna.
Kaduna? You are watching on television or what?
Yes, on television.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks. Thank you for the call.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have 2 minutes to go, and again, we still have the phone line there on your screen for the support of our people. Somebody is trying to call, they cannot call. Let me see if you can respond. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello, I will get back to you, sir. Hang on. Hello. 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 All right. Let's see. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. President.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, a great show today. I don't know if you had a chance to see the message that I sent you, but if you watched that the video of the Nigerian president, Mr. Tinubu, shaking Dictator Biya's hand.
Yeah.
It looks as if Dictator Biya, if you don't love sense, so they know, they know say he for release President Tinubu in hand.
Oh yeah.
So President Tinubu will use the free hand for tapa.
You are very correct. You are very. He held Tinubu's hand for like not wanting to let go, right?
Yes, I looked at it. I was like, Master, the man don't finish. The Biya don't finish for head, Master. Like the French Camerooners, they don't get any shame. They don't get shame at all for the keep that man for the attire.
I'm telling you, I didn't realize that, but you are very right. He held Tinubu's hand for like almost a minute, and it's like Tinubu is trying to force it out of him, but he kept holding it. All right.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Tinubu used his other free hand and then brought it up to tap Dictator Biya's hand and say, "Mama, leave my hand on me."
All right. Thanks for that observation.
Yeah, take care.
All right. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead and call. I see some people trying to call, but we're missing the call. Go ahead and call. What is happening to Ground Zero today? No electricity or what? Or how come no calls are coming? All right. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
Calling from La Republic.
Calling from La Republic. Okay, can you raise your voice a little bit, sir? It's quite low. So, what is going on? What is on your mind?
Yes, I just want to say something about I came in where you're talking about the road issue in Amazonia.
Yes.
It's a deep pity. In 2023, we still have roads in a country where they are pushing only vehicles. And these are mortuary for our people. The road have 95% of the killing of the civilian population in Cameroon.
Yeah.
Being it in Amazonia, being it in the Republic. When you hear that people are dying, it's road.
Right.
This is very sad. When you go to even in Southwest from Tombe to Pemanigoba, it is a nightmare.
Right.
You can't go through. Our people have to stand up to fight. Please, we have to fight. If we don't fight, we'll keep on suffering and we'll keep on suffering. I don't know why you are even begging people to contribute money. It is high time for us to stop this. We have to give the money. We have to. There is no way when somebody holds something and you don't take it by force, you become a slave forever in the hands of that person.
Yeah.
And let me say that they are even planting these cameras in Biya. They are extending it to our own zone so that we can capture our brother. Because I learned that today. They are doing it. And so we should be aware.
Right, they will do it in Biya, they will do it in Victoria, they will put them in Bamenda, they will put them in Kumba, they will put them in all those places where they are ripping us apart, ripping our resources apart.
Yes, Grace. That is the issue. We have to fight, sir. We have to.
Yeah.
We have to. Thank you so much. God bless you. And God bless.
Thank you. Thank you for the call, sir. Remain safe out there.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to call it a night here. Look forward to seeing you next week. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, the fundraiser for Big Babanki and Boyo continues. The fundraiser for Big Babanki and Boyo continues. Let us lift up their hands and make sure that they are not squeezed to surrender up there in Boyo. Let's stay with them. All right. You remain safe out there. You have a great weekend. God bless you all. Good night.